My name is Gregg Schumann, and I'm the owner of Schumann Antiques in Louisville, Kentucky. My dad started Schumann's at 19 years old. He loved to gather up furniture around in his community from neighbors and friends, and he enjoyed restoring them. He sold them to the residents out in the Anchorage and the Linden area where he lived, and he thought, gosh, he put some money in his pocket by doing that. So he thought, you know, maybe I'll go out and get some more of this, and that's how he got started. Schumann Antiques is located at 4545 Taylorsville Road, just between the Hirschburn Parkway and the Hikes Point area. This building belonged to the Louisville Interurban Railway System. It was a booster station whereby they powered the electric trains that would travel from downtown Louisville with passengers, and they would turn the train cars around in Jeffersontown. They built this building in 1885. My dad bought the building in 1936. The building has 2 floors, a main floor and a second floor, and then a basement. And we utilize all 3 areas to display our antiques. The furniture repair and restoration takes place in the back of the building, which was a section of building that my dad added on in 1954. We have a mix in the store of American, English, and French antiques. This piece dates to 1640. It's an English oak press cupboard. It's the earliest piece that we have in the store at the current time. These were used by the English people to hold their valuable belongings back in those days. It's the William and Mary design, and it's made out of solid oak, and it's all decorated on the front with marquetry inlay. And then on the left and right upper section of the cabinet, flanking the center door, are these beautiful bulbous turnings that they turned by hand. And of course, in those days, they were using pedal-driven lathes, water-driven lathes. They didn't, in the 1640s, there was no electrical equipment. So when you think about that old of a piece and the decoration, it's amazing how these fellas did that. My favorite piece would probably be this Durfee clock that we've had. It's sort of a member of the family now. Well, Walter Durfee grandfather clocks are high-end antique grandfather chiming clocks. They're generally 9-tube chiming clocks. And not everybody's looking for this type of clock. There's just certain people around the country that sort of chase them around and like to see them and like to own them. They are quite valuable. Durfee clocks will range from $25,000 up to $100,000. We have 2 Durfees in the store right now, but the best one that we have is a pattern number 18, mahogany case, 9-tube chime. And we've owned that clock for a number of years. My father and I bought that clock at a estate auction years ago, but in the last few years I've decided to put the clock up for sale. Well, on this particular Durfee clock, there is a carving of the devil on the top of the clock. This clock was made in 1890. It was a superstitious time, I suppose, and the furniture makers would decorate their furniture with these symbols, and it was meant to ward off evil spirits from entering your home. We do have Harvey Joyner paintings. Joyner was an artist that lived primarily in the Louisville area. He was a portrait painter, which a lot of people didn't know, but he made most of his money by painting landscapes of the local areas, particularly Cherokee Park. He also painted on a farm, which was directly across the street from our store. The larger you get in the square inch size of the painting, the more money you'll pay for them. The ones that are currently in the store they're more moderately priced. They're smaller paintings. The most expensive one, I believe, is around $4,500. The trends that we've noticed are for regional pieces. People really want the Kentucky things. But we're also seeing a trend towards pieces that aren't really technically antique. We're seeing that the younger generations might be looking for the mid-century modern things, which is furniture that was manufactured pre-World War II and after World War II. What we look for in the mid-century modern is the higher-end quality names like Henredon, Baker, Thomasville. Well, our specialty, of course, is restoring antiques and doing a proper restoration, not just refinishing. The problem that we run into is so many wonderful pieces have been damaged prior to today, and so what do you do with a piece that's been damaged by an inexperienced hand? Well, you try to turn it around, give it a new lease on life, and preserve the piece for future collectors. Well, to stay in business as long as we have, you have to be straightforward with your customers. You have to stand behind your product. We want our customers to like and to love what they buy from us. The worst thing in the world is to have a customer purchase something from you and get it home, and then they say to themselves, I wish I hadn't bought that piece. I want all of my customers to look at their piece and go, I'm really happy I found that piece of furniture.